Good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ian. I'm known as WanderBeard around these parts. And in today's video, we are in the heart of the Lenca country. This is La Esperanza or Intibucá, depending on which part of town you're in. This is now my second to last stop here in Honduras, and what an amazing country. It's been a fantastic trip to explore throughout this whole place, and I'm really glad I had an opportunity to come and check out this part of the country. One of the lesser traveled, from a tourist perspective perhaps, but I would argue one of the most interesting areas of the country. So if you don't know, the Lenca were the indigenous group that lived here in this part of Honduras for centuries. They were the ones who the Spanish met with in the late 1500s when they came to this part of Central America. And the Lenca warrior Lempira led the charge against the Spanish and is so revered here in Honduras that Lempira is now the currency that's used in the country, and his face appears on the 1 Lempira bill. So we're going to start here sort of at the top of the city. We're going to head up to La Gruta in a minute. This is, as I said, La Esperanza or Intibucá. It's actually sort of a twin city, if you will. And the history of that is interesting. So after the Spanish arrived in the late 1500s and then through the 1600s, the Spanish settled here, created the town of La Esperanza, and meanwhile the indigenous Lenca people lived in Intibucá, which is the other half of this twin city. Eventually they sort of merged into one. However, they are still operated separately. So there's 2 mayors, 1 for each town, and 2 sets of everything. But for argument's purposes, it is essentially one place now. So up first, as I mentioned, we have La Gruta that is actually carved in the side of the hill. So seeing the front of it here as we walk up towards it. So the background on La Gruta is that it was built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, under the command of President Andino. And as you can see now today, it is a major, at least locally, a major tourist attraction for Hondurans. Once you get up to the top of the stairs, you can actually see there's people up on the hill, and there's a couple other stops near to this that we're also going to go check out. So first, let's huff and puff our way up these stairs and get to the top. So once you reach the top of the stairs and you get to the little chapel that's here, you can actually continue up. There's some stairs here on the left, some stairs there on the right. But please make sure you take the time to enjoy the view of La Esperanza from up on the hill. This gives you a really good perspective on the entire city. This is one of the higher points in the town and one of the easier to get to. So it's a nice spot to kind of come and check out the place. So when you get up here, I'll show you the chapel that's inside. Let's head over, we'll have a look up here at the look-off point, and then we'll head up to the top of the hill as well, because I guess there's probably an even better view from up there. Sounds like a marching band over there somewhere. Beautiful city, nestled up high here in the mountains. La Esperanza is actually the city with the highest elevation in the country of Honduras. I believe we're at about 1,900 meters, which is about, I don't know, a mile and a bit, I guess. And really beautiful spot. Let's head up the hill. You can see how worn down these steps are. Well, those were tricky. You can actually go up even higher if you wanted to, up into sort of this forest area to get an even higher view. But I mean, it's diminishing returns as you get higher, I think. But just an absolutely beautiful spot up here on top of the Gruta. And we're going to head back down and up over this way. Unfortunately, the museum I wanted to see, which is in this pink building down here in front of me, is closed on the weekends. So that is the local Lenca museum, and it's closed on Saturdays and Sundays. Open Monday mornings. So I may try and sneak in an early visit on Monday morning when they first open to get a look at it. I'm scheduled to leave here on Monday for my next and final destination here in Honduras. So it'll just depend on the timing. I talked to the host, Eric, where I'm staying with the Airbnb, and he mentioned that there are buses that go to the capital about every hour. So, you know, if I go to the museum here for an hour or two, still plenty of time to check out in the morning, hop on my bus, and head to my next and final destination, Tegucigalpa. Let's head back down. There's some more sketchy stairs here carved out of the rock. And although these ones don't look, I don't think, nearly as bad as the other ones did. But I'm putting the camera away because I'm probably going to want to hold on a little bit. I lied. I'm going to give you a little tease of what these stairs are like, so that if you do come here and you're wondering what to expect, some very steep, very high, carved in stone stairs. Though I would definitely say these ones are far better than the ones I went up on the other side, because they were completely worn down to almost nothing. These are the better of the two stairs if you're going up and down above. We're just coming down the street here from La Gruta, which is up on this beautiful hill. And here's the La Esperanza sign. So let's head back down, and we're going to head up over to the other park, which I find a little fascinating, because they have a park here dedicated to a local mushroom. And you can actually see a small teaser of that just right around this corner. They're a bit beat up, but there's a park just up on the hill that's for those mushrooms. And a few recreations just off the hill here of some old carvings. So from the top of the hill, it's a really pretty street here that they've got set up. There's lots of little restaurants and gift shops and stuff along the road here. And it's not terribly busy. I mean, this is a Saturday, and there's only a handful of people here. I would say in town was definitely a bit busier. Let's take a walk through here. This is Carillon de la Gruta. You get this really lovely painted relief on the front. Some really lovely mural work along here. Different aspects of Lenca life throughout history. They even painted the telephone pole to match. So our next stop is up this dirt road, about half a kilometer or so, and I'm excited to check it out before we make our way back down into town. This is, there's actually two stops up here, and both definitely have some historical significance to the city. So we're just making our way down. I don't know how long this will be here, so if you're coming up to check out this part of La Esperanza, there's a block on the road here, I assume for vehicles. This is the Baños Públicos El Camote, which is just down here. And this is a very famous spot in the city, which was built in the very early 1900s, I believe 1902. If I'm wrong, I'll put that on the screen. And because there was no running water in the city, this was a place where people could come and do laundry and those types of things and bathe. There's fresh water that runs down off the hill here from up in the mountains. So we're just going to take a little wander down. There's also a park here, which is intriguing to say the least. And this is sort of your first taste of that park. It is a mushroom park. Los Chorros. This road definitely looks like it's all been fresh cut. You can see here along the sides and stuff where they've been clearing brush. So I just come down to the end of the road, and there's a little waterfall here with a natural spring. And then over this way is the actual Baños El Quisquemote. So these were, as I thought, founded in 1902 and restored in 2007 under the administration of Miguel Fajardo. But you can see in here water coming down these pipes here from up on the hill, and just a beautiful spot here up on the edge of the mountain. You can see the water continues to run down through here. So there's actually two separate baths here. There's one for women and one for men here, and I'll give you a little look inside. And yes, I checked first to make sure there's nobody here. So when you come in here, you've got this huge open space with this fresh running water from up on the hill. People would use this to bathe or wash clothes, and this drains down into that river that we saw down below. So I would say that probably comes out down here somewhere. And there's also, I see here too, just as I'm kind of looking around, there's these huge cisterns of water that are being collected, which I'm assuming is what's used for the town now for their fresh water supply. You see one here, and then there's another one just down below. A pretty little spot here up on the hill. Some, again, beautiful mural work. There's Laguta and some pottery on that side. Let's take a walk. We can actually go up around over this bridge, then kind of up over the hill here a little bit. I'm not going to go up too far, but go up and have a look. This is that sort of mushroom kids park I was talking about earlier. They actually have a pool here that fills from the water up on the mountain, which is really cool to see. And let's head up this way. So there's those public baths there. You can actually continue up quite a piece up the hill. And then they have this little park here for the kids and stuff too, which looks very popular given how busy it is. What a cool spot. I mean, here I am in the middle of Honduras, up in the mountains, and you literally just kind of come up here with an inkling of what might be here, and you stumble into this place with those beautiful public baths and this flowing river and the park with the kids in it. I mean, what a spot. Unbelievable. So I think at this point, I'm going to head back into town proper, and it's after noon time, so I'm going to see if I can maybe grab a little snack to eat somewhere along the way. And just for my own benefit, I'm actually going to make sure that that museum is closed today. Google Maps said it was, and Eric, the host at my Airbnb, believes it was as well. But I'm going to double check just to make sure. Let's head back. Just come down the hill from where the park and the water station was, and this church here is on the corner. This is the Parroquia Nuestra Señora de la Esperanza, and I don't think it's open, but it's a pretty little church. Just gonna take a shot of it as I walk by here, because that museum that I wanted to check is right next door. Anyway, so yeah, it does look like the museum is closed here today. It's in this pink building, just 2 blocks down from La Gruta, and maybe we'll swing by on Monday morning and see if we can check it out then before I head to Tegucigalpa. All right, let's go and see if we can find a little something to snack on. So I just had a nice little meal here. This is Típicos Nicole is the restaurant, or Pupusas de Choro is above the door. Take your pick. They had a real nice carne asada mixed plate, which I'll put on the screen here. And the plate was 120 lempira, so that's about $4, $3, something like that. Delicious, and a great local spot, just right here, not too far from La Gruta at the top of the street. So we're just going to head down the street here to the Central Park, which is just about 2 blocks this way. And it's got a really nice, I think, cathedral on the park. I've been really impressed with La Esperanza, I have to say. It's a really nice little town. Feels very much similar to some of the towns I saw in the Western Highlands in Guatemala, which kind of makes sense given we're sort of at the same altitude and it's kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but it's really cool. One of the things I unfortunately did not get here soon enough for was the Mushroom and Wine Festival. It's a national festival they have here in La Esperanza every year at the end of June. So this is a statue of General Antonio Lopez Tabora, and this is Lopez Park here in the center of La Esperanza. Take a little walk over here. There's a fountain in the middle, the church on the other side. Really, really, really beautiful spot here in the middle of town, especially with all the nice pine trees and stuff. There's a really pretty fountain there amongst the trees. Some really huge trees here too. So you've got a stage here in the middle of the park, which they use for performances and stuff too. And if you're here on the weekends, there's even a little vendor's market just off to the side there underneath the umbrellas, which let's go and do a little walk through. So if you come to La Esperanza on the weekend, there's a really cool little market here. They've got some local vendors making crafts. Again, remember this is sort of a Lenca community, so you'll see a lot of the handicrafts and stuff are sort of inspired by some of the Lenca history that's here in this part of the country. Just gonna stop in a little coffee shop here, Cafe de Xenia, and check it out. This is Cafe Xenia, and what a beautiful place back here. I think there's actually a hotel here just behind me. It's part of the same place, just sort of behind this door. But what a beautiful green space here in the city to come and sit down and enjoy a coffee, which coincidentally is exactly what I'm going to do. So that was a nice little coffee shop. It's just across the street. Here's the park, the Central Park, and the coffee shop's just around the corner there with a nice little green space in the middle. So we're just going to head back over this way. We're just going to walk in front of this cathedral, and if it's not busy inside, take a quick look, and then head over by the Central Market and make our way down from there. So this here is the Church of Intibucá, and it was constructed in 1790. And is the original building that still stands here today. It's had some restoration work done in the 2000s, but the actual building itself is the original. So we're gonna take a quick look inside, just quietly, and check it out. It's a beautiful old church with a wooden roof on it, and you can see up the front there. I'll take a picture as well so you can see it closer. There's people up praying, so I don't want to go closer and disturb them. But a beautiful old church with almost 250 years of history behind it. One other thing I'll mention just briefly while I'm standing literally in front of it is the Banco Atlantida is here in Honduras. Has been, for me at least, the best option for ATMs and banks and stuff, because there's been no fees on any withdrawals that I've used with my Canadian debit card. So if you're in town and you need to find a bank machine, there's 3 or 4 around, different couple of different banks, but they are the ones I have used throughout the country without issue. So everywhere you go in Honduras, you might see signs like this, Justice for Berta. And here in La Esperanza, it's even more significant. So Justice for Berta refers to Berta Cáceres. She was an Indigenous Lenca environmentalist who in 2016 was assassinated inside her own home here in La Esperanza. She was world famous for her environmental fights against large hydro projects here in the country and other such things, trying to help protect some of the nature and wilderness in the country. So after her assassination in 2016 here in La Esperanza, there was a worldwide outcry to capture those involved in her murder. In 2018, 7, I believe, individuals were found guilty of being associated with her assassination. And then in 2021, the head of the dam project that she had been protesting was then found guilty of being an accomplice. However, the general consensus amongst her supporters and the wider general public is that those who were directly involved in her murder have yet to be properly charged for what happened. If you're here in La Esperanza and you see those types of signs for Justice for Berta, or you see them in other places as well, it's not unique to here. That is the story. We're just heading down the road. Another market here on the right. We're continuing to work our way down this way. So this is kind of the main road here, I guess, through town, if you want to think of it that way. I've walked this now a couple times up and back from where I'm staying up to here in town. And yeah, it's a great way to kind of wander the city and see all different aspects of it. Lots of stores, restaurants, all that sort of thing along the way. And sort of up behind me is where La Gruta was, and that park. And then down this way, it kind of drops down to a point and then starts to climb back up. And at the bottom is sort of where the bus station is here in the city, where all the buses start and finish. So they have a candy store here along the side of the road. So you can buy like large portions of chocolate bars and all that kind of candy and stuff here. It's quite the shop. I'm gonna go pick up the one candy that I like, I think more than everything else. Do you need 10 pounds of candy? This is your place. You get all kinds of different stuff here. Anyway, they had the Raffaellos in there, which is like the Ferrero Rocher, but the white coconut version. Those things are, yeah, if I was ever addicted to anything, it'd probably be those. And they had some of those, and they had some other local stuff, so I picked up a couple things there just to try it out. And we're just continuing our way down the street, and then back up the other side. So like most of the bus stations that I've come across in Central America, this one is chaos would be the right term for it. There's lots of microbuses that are going to local towns, but then this is also where you'd pick up the bus for Tegucigalpa or other places farther across the country. But it is a hub of activity. It doesn't stop from like 4 o'clock in the morning until well after midnight. It's another example here of some of the amazing mural work in the city. Shout out to Kevin Rodriguez on Facebook. You can see this is La Gruta where we were earlier today with the La Esperanza sign in front of it. And this continues down for quite a distance. And I was curious as to what this was yesterday, and it turns out that this is the municipal cemetery with all this beautiful artwork in front of it. I won't go inside to be respectful, but all along the wall here, all different artists along here too. One of the other neat things here in the town, I haven't seen anybody playing on them, even though I've walked by them now a few times. They have all these checker/chessboard tables and seats set up on both sides of the road here. So I think, from my impression, without really looking at the map too closely, my impression is that sort of that bus station is sort of the midway point between La Esperanza and Intibucá, which, as I mentioned earlier, was kind of how the city was divided between the Spanish and the Indigenous. So here on sort of the east side of the city, the main road kind of splits into two. So you can either go kind of up to the left here, or you can continue going straight. And if you go straight, that kind of takes you more southern towards the capital, Tegucigalpa. Or if you head left and go up out of town that way, that takes you back up towards Lake Yohoa and that district where I came from. So we are going to head up here to the left. You can get across here. And there's one more restaurant here I actually want to try out before I head back. And I decided to stop here at Buggy's, which is like a 50s diner style place. And they had a whole wide selection of food. So I ordered a bacon jalapeno cheeseburger and a pineapple drink with milk. And I'm just chilling here, relaxing, waiting for the food to arrive, which should be here in a few minutes. So my burger is here, and it's got a load of bacon and jalapenos on it, and it looks delicious. So the battery has died on my microphone, but this was Buggy's. The burger was delicious and really well priced. So if you're looking for a pretty good place to have a little bite, it's a good stop. So I've just got about another 15 minutes or so to walk straight up this road to get back to where I'm staying. And when I get back, I'll give you a little tour of my room and all the intimate details of how it was. So I just got back to the room I'm staying in here in La Esperanza, and I figured I'd give you a quick show of what it looks like. So this was a spot I found on Airbnb. And the host, Eric, has been really good. He's been very helpful with information. He actually dropped me off downtown today. And yeah, this is a great little spot. So if you're in La Esperanza, I'll give you the information here, the name of it on Airbnb. This place comes with 2 beds. So there's a double size and a single bed here. Excuse the mess. Good little fan here in the corner and a nice work desk with a bar fridge and a microwave next to it. Place to hang your clothes, Private bathroom in here is awesome. Nice hot water from the shower head, and then all the usual stuff here. So yeah, a great spot. It's probably about 15 minutes on foot from the bus station here in La Esperanza. You could get a taxi here for probably 10 or 15 lempira, and it would take less than 5 minutes. But it's a great spot. It's a nice and quiet street here at night. So it's been really great for sleeping. Nice and cool here in the evening, so there's no air conditioning, but you do not need it here at all. I look warm at the moment because I just came back from walking all the way across the town. But that fan has been really good, and just the cool air at night has been great. So yeah, big thumbs up to Eric here at his place on Airbnb. I'll put the contact information and the price and stuff down below. But I thought this was a fantastic deal and a great place to spend a few nights. Good morning here from my final morning in La Esperanza. I've made it over to the Casa de la Cultura here in the city. And I just wanted to kind of quickly come over and check it out before I left for my next destination. So this is the House of Culture here in the middle of the city. It's actually not too far from La Gruta. And this building contains a whole bunch of different little sort of subsections to it. So there's a municipal office here for the town. There's some artistic and funding research stuff here. And down on the first floor, down in that room is the Lenca Interpretation Center, which has a little bit of a museum and stuff in it as well for the Lenca. And we're going to take a walk around and go down. There's a bunch of photos and stuff here from the city from, back as far as 70, 80 years ago. They also have a room here for doing art and several other little stops. So I just thought I wanted to come by and have a quick look at it. Because as I said, when I originally came to La Esperanza in this part of Honduras, this was all about trying to learn a bit more about the Lenca people. And I think I've done a pretty good job of that with some of the aspects here and kind of understanding how it's different from the grand Mayan empire that we've seen throughout other countries. The Lenca were a much smaller group, but their history is still quite strong here today, and their culture remains quite strong here today too. So let's take a walk downstairs and we'll have a look at some of the photos and stuff that are down there. So you can see this whole area is just surrounded with different types of art, and there's pottery here, and there's some clay work here, which is really cool. I really like this candle holder / incense. You can hear they're doing a practice over there at the moment. So there's some photographs here of the city, both of Intibucá and La Esperanza, and some of them date back quite far. Here's in 1936. And then they have all kinds of different pictures and photographs here from different celebrations. Here's the procession. You can actually see La Gruta up in there in the corner. Semana Santa, 1954, here in La Esperanza. Here's an example of a typical house in Yamarangila, which is just sort of the next village over from here, 1963. There's a shot of the passage for the Gruta, 1973. You can see that from what we've seen, it has basically not changed, which is pretty cool. So here's some more photos here of different years. A basketball game in 1965. There's those public baths. So the other day when we were up to see those, which completely blew me away, there's a picture of them from 1965 as well. So this is much more than just a house with some photos in it. This is sort of the cultural center for a lot of the city of La Esperanza and Intibucá. They have different rooms here set up for different things. For example, here they have a music and theater room for practicing that. They have one here for costume design, and they also have one down here for art as well, where there's people who are doing art projects and stuff here. I won't go in to bother them because they're in the middle of painting at the moment, but you can see inside. They have a dance troupe here that does traditional Lenca dance. I think that's what they're practicing over here right now. They have performances and stuff here in the city during special events and those types of things, which would be pretty cool to see. Can I?
Anyone?
It's okay?
Yes, okay.
Wow. Very sharp. Wow. Yeah, you can see right through.
It's a little green.
Yeah. Like almost like a jade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ok. Estos son sellos corporales.
Yeah.
It's
Yep. For like a tattoo.
like tattoo.
Yeah. Very cool.
Esa no. Esta es una máscara del Huancasco de los Lencas.
Wow.
De los Lencas Cares. Está hecha en madera. Es muy antigua.
Right.
Muy antigua.
¿Cuántos años? Más o menos.
Hace 300 años todavía la usaban.
Ok.
Pero no sabemos antes de eso en qué momento se construyó. O sea, se sabe que la última vez que la utilizaron fue hace unos 300 años.
Gotcha. Wow.
Esto es del grupo de los Lencas de los Zulúas.
More like a stampa también. Like a. Amazing. Just 1 minute. Yeah, so here at the Cultural Center, there's actually a little museum set up here, and they have some original artifacts of the Lenca. It's one of the very few places in the world where you can actually come to see artifacts of the actual Lenca people. We were having a conversation before I turned the camera on, talking about the overlap between the Lenca and the Maya and how much longer the Lenca were here. He believes it's thousands of years the Lenca existed in this area before the Maya ever came along. So places like Copan Ruinas were originally a Lenca territory that were eventually taken over. And we sort of talked about some of the different names and things. And some of the different stuff that's in here is really incredible. They have these original stamps. So they would take these and they would roll them on like the skin to form like a tattoo design. And the circular ones would allow them to roll them out over a longer distance. They have some different tools here like we saw with almost like little flecks of jade within them. And in this little glass case here was some examples of some pottery shards that have been found, and a piece here that has some painting on it. He was showing me photos on his camera there. About 2 hours away from here into sort of the highlands, there's an area where they have found some caves with cave paintings and human remains like bones and things like that, proving obviously and helping to date how far back the Lenca people go in this area. So this is a really cool little spot. And then of course it's surrounded by art that's produced over here in the art gallery. But he was saying that I think there's plans to expand this museum in the near future into other buildings nearby to kind of expand on this collection. And it's really cool. Like I said, I spent so much time going through and looking at Mayan history to come here to Honduras and get a little taste of the Lenca people and the history that's here and how proud a history it still is today is really, really cool to see. So if you come to La Esperanza and you come over to the Casa de la Cultura, just ask to come into the museum here. It's in the gallery section. There's a little door there with a sign above it. I'll show you here in a second. And it's really cool to kind of see this sort of stuff being maintained today. So this is the Galleria room, which is where the little museum is inside. And if you're in town, make sure you stop by and check it out. Hola.
Hacemos arte, dibujo.
Yeah. Muy bonito. Just another shot here inside of the art gallery to have a look at some of the different art that's in here. and it's being produced. Some of it obviously influential with the history of the Maya, with the Lenca, and then the history of the battles and stuff in the area, and then more modern contemporary art as well. So anyway, I just had a quick chat there. That was Roy that I was speaking to in the museum, and this is a great spot. So it's such a great way to maintain the history and the culture of the Lenca here in La Esperanza. And I really hope you come by and check it out because it's pretty awesome. So here's the building sign here, the Casa de la Cultura de la Esperanza Intibucá. So this is the doorway to get in. I kind of got confused when I first got here because I went to the wrong door, but you just go to this door here and it's open, even though it shows that it's closed. Just lift a little handle up and you can get in. So that's going to do it from here in La Esperanza. I had a great time here, an opportunity to come and learn some of the history and see a part of Honduras that maybe a lot of people don't necessarily travel to. It's been a really great experience, even to just get a taste of this area. And I hope that if you're traveling through Honduras, you don't skip over this part of the country. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment down below to let me know that you were here. I always appreciate all the comments that I get, and I do try to respond to all of them if I can, as much as I can. So if you're new to my channel and this is your first time coming across it, feel free to hit subscribe down below. It doesn't cost you anything, of course, and you'll get updates on future videos. And remember, life is short. Wander. And I'll see you in the next video.